Waiting for the Supreme Court to issue their decision on mail-in ballots, and hopefully it happens soon. Because the latest going on in the midterms and these California elections of primaries, it's a lot of it's trending bad for Democrats. However, what they're doing with this steal in California, it's got the whole world paying attention, especially most of America, revealing just how insane that they do things in these deep blue states. Well, California is kind of opening that up. There is hope, however, for Republicans and MAGA, because just like I mentioned a week ago, if the Supreme Court decision comes out soon, it might be enough to get Spencer Pratt back in it. Listen to this.
Jonathan, so let's go to the mail-in ballot case first. So California is still counting the ballots days after the election. So if the postmarks can be handwritten, they can be handwritten and kind of fudged and still be counted. How can the voters be confident this is really a secure process?
Well, California is a system that is so vague it's unintelligible, and I think even people, a significant number of people in California have had enough of it. But this case is very interesting. If you listen to the oral argument, it did seem like a majority of the justices were prepared to say that when federal law says Election Day, they mean Election Day. And there was some really interesting exchanges where, for example, Justice Alito pressed the counsel in that case to say, well, how far does this go? I mean, how long can your state extend the meaning of Election Day? And basically, the counsel shrugged and said it's up to the state. Well, obviously, the justices didn't like that. What was the most interesting moment for me during that oral argument is that Justice Kavanaugh asked one of the attorneys, if we do vote that Election Day means Election Day, is there enough time to enforce this by the midterm elections? And the answer was yes, that even for military ballots, those probably don't get mailed out till September. So this could impact the midterm.
Boom, baby. Now, as far as California, I still say that, you know, we've already seen Trump come out with a post saying, I don't care that a lot of you already voted. We're going to abide by election law. And so he's trying to get a lot of these states to redistrict still. And that pressure has worked in a couple of them. But in California, they could pull the same thing. The DOJ could say, well, this is law. This has happened before you guys even certified your election, which doesn't come till, I believe, July 2nd. You're going to have to redo your election or get rid of all the ballots. I could see that being a possibility because, again, it was stated this could definitely be enforced before the midterms. And in my opinion, that means the DOJ seems keen on enforcing it immediately. So Spencer Pratt, guys, it's not over yet, in my opinion. And thank God, because the fraud there is just insane. Here's some of the latest news coming out of California. Breaking news, tens of thousands of Pratt voters are now receiving rejection letters from the county clerk saying their ballots were not counted due to signature irregularities. So you don't have to show your ID in California, but if your signature's a little off and you're a Republican voter, because we never hear about this happening to Democratic voters, if you're a Republican voter and your signature's a little off, oh, we're not going to count your vote. Well, you know, you could be having a bad day and your signature could be a little bit off. You could be, you know, maybe you're a little over caffeinated and you're shaky. There's lots of, but this is insane. No ID, but then this, I mean, they have completely designed this for fraud. It's legal in California until it's not. It says Gavin Newsom passed legislation making it illegal for anyone conducting oversight to contest signatures they deem fraudulent. So you can't even contest it. Democrats allow ballots to be signed with X, A-, or a smiley face to pass and count, but all of a sudden only Republican signatures being flagged for irregularities rejected and not counted. One of these California Republican voters said his signature has been on file for 20 years, and there's never been an issue until he voted for Spencer Pratt. Nithya Raman has beaten Spencer Pratt by less than 3,000 votes, or at least 18,000 Pratt voters who received this letter. There it is, guys. They just hit him from all angles. How crazy is this? How crazy is this? We got to get that Supreme Court thing here soon because this is just insane. This is what they're doing. So, you know, I do believe there's hope here. I do believe with all the attention on California that even if we don't win this battle, it's going to help us win the war of election integrity, because this is so egregious the more we see of this. Now, speaking of egregious, these are the people we're running. These are the people that the Democrats are running. Here's Graham Plattner, that bastion of moral rectitude and principle, and just having a little slip up. And I thought we could laugh at him for a minute, but it tells you what Democrats really think. Remember, they always show you, but you got to be paying attention.
What we don't have enough representation for is people that work for a living, people who are in labor unions, people who work multiple jobs, people who are disabled and stuck at home, unable to work in the structures that we've created around them. Families who are saddled with children with cost of childcare, not saddled with children. We're blessed with children.
These people hate kids. They hate kids. They're the ones who encourage, like, go out in the workforce, don't have a family, you're good, be single, be a power woman, like total feminism craziness to the extreme. They're the party of abortion up till the moment of birth, and in Virginia, sometimes in other places, even after. I mean, that's crazy. In California, they tried to pass a bill a couple years ago where you could abort a baby up to 2 years old. Yeah, that's not a joke. I covered that on my show, but that was years ago. But thankfully that didn't get through. But that's the kind of thing. But he said it. I mean, saddled with children. This is what they think.
With cost of families.
You see here, he catches himself fast because he realizes what he just did.
Who are saddled with children, cost of childcare, not saddled with children. We're blessed with children, saddled with childcare.
Oh man, I am going to love seeing this guy go down. But again, the Democrats, man, they're forced to support that guy. They're forced to support Tallarico. Here's Reverend Warnock, okay, the pastor, senator out of Georgia. This is him defending Tallarico and all the insane things he's talking about as another pastor who is apparently about the Bible. And here's him with Tim Miller, the previous fraudulent Republican strategist turned crazy liberal who runs the Bulwark. But just listen to the kind of nutso things they have to say to defend these people.
I interviewed Tallarico about a month or two ago now. He cited you kind of as a mentor and a model, as somebody who's a Christian, leader.
Look how they're trying to push this narration, okay? These are Christians. These are good people. They're trying to pull the wool over your eyes. It's not going to work because they're insane. Their belief systems are so crazy. But you see how they're like, instead of changing, instead of moderating, now they're just straight up trying to infiltrate people with values by lying to their faces about who they actually are.
In the Democratic Party, I'm wondering if you've been watching his campaign, if you have any thoughts, if you had a chance to talk to him about, whether he can kind of follow in your footsteps and into the Senate.
Yes, we've talked a couple of times. He reached out to me when he started his campaign and came to D.C. and sat down, met with me. He's doing great. And it's good to see someone else out there in a very...
You hear all the ums and stuff. He doesn't know how to defend this guy. He's trying to come up with something.
Clear way, living out his faith, speaking about it in relationship to issues of public policy is deeply refreshing.
Deeply refreshing. Calling God non-binary, 6 genders, all this crazy stuff. But you see, like the humming and hawing. They do not like who they've elected. They are scared. They are scared they're going to lose the midterms because of their insane people they've brought on. And one of the other reasons is we keep getting all these massive wins with redistricting and election integrity in red states. Now, in Florida, we redistricted to where the Democrats only get four seats. And Mark Elias, who is one of the heroes of the left and liberal, who's always challenging, always taking stuff to court, always trying to undo things that Republicans get forward, he went to the Supreme Court in Florida and tried to get their map overturned, and it was completely shut down and isn't even going up to the Supreme Court. So another massive win there. And now Mark Elias's losing streak has continued on and on and on and on. He's in a bad place. And then, so with all this going on, we keep getting all these polls, right? The Democrats are winning, they're gaining, but it's all rigged, because the reality is, even though some people might not be happy with Trump and how much he's gotten done yet, we're seeing more and more of these stories come out. And this is not, I guarantee you, this is not what CBS expected to hear when they ran this segment. Listen to this.
I think he's amazing.
Neighbors Catherine Desatel and Ron Dundor.
It says North Carolina and Georgia voters on how they feel about Trump's first 100 days, chewing over his record.
Now bond over their shared love for Trump.
Yes.
Ron didn't vote for him in the last election, but now he wishes he had.
I've been very pleasantly surprised with what he's doing with the country. I think he's got a really good cabinet being there this time.
Being from California and Arizona, I dealt with the immigration crisis and saw how it affected our daily lives. I believe he's a man of his word. Mm-hmm. And I really like that, because I had given up on politics. I think he's
How huge is that? These are real Trump voters, very happy. She said she'd given up on politics. She's stoked. This guy says he didn't vote for Trump, but what he's seen is amazing, and he wish he had. Guys, this is not being talked about. They put this on CBS. You better believe this isn't just these two. This is all over the place. And we're being lied to about all the other crazy stuff, okay? I know, I get people all the time who are like, well, Trump hasn't done nothing for me. I'm still struggling. Okay, fine. Yeah, I get it. But you know what? Are you going to vote for the other crazies? I don't think so. But those who are paying attention get it. And I understand, like, there's still struggle, financial struggle, stuff like that. I get that. I get gas prices being up. Sucks. I get that you didn't even want to see anything happen militarily ever again, even though that's a crazy thought. And you didn't like Iran. I get that. Fine. But would you still want the other guy? There's no boots on the ground in Iran. We didn't invade. The gas prices were down. They're temporarily up. They'll go down again. They're already starting to. Food prices, all that takes time. It takes 18 to 24 months for economic policies to really take root. I mean, come on. Everybody who pays attention understands. We're not negating the fact people are still hurting. But see, these are older folks. They get it. They get it. They've been around. They've been around the block a few times. And they've been very disappointed in the past. And now the opposite is happening. They're waking up. They're seeing what's actually happening. They're impressed. And I got to say, this matters a lot more to me than some 20-year-old who, you know, has never lived long enough to understand how any policy affects him. But this is a big deal. And coming into the midterms, old people vote. Old people vote much, much more than young people, especially in the midterms. It goes way up. And so speaking of helping people, keeping promises, Trump signed something yesterday that's actually a pretty big deal. Here's an executive order Trump passed yesterday that's going to really help our seafood and re-energize the entire fishing industry. Listen to this.
Our really great fishermen, great people, by restoring commercial access to 3 areas of the Western Pacific Ocean. It's a large amount of space we're talking about that they were restricted. Other countries would use it, but our country couldn't use it. You ever hear anything so stupid? I want to thank Secretary of Commerce Howard Lutnick, Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum, Alaska Governor Mike Dunleavy, and Congresswoman Kimberly King Hines for joining us today. We appreciate it all very much. Thank you very much. Thanks as well to Captain Sig Hansen, a superstar. Him and Tom Cruise are the 2 biggest people in entertainment. Thank you very much. Great job. And Pacific Seafood CEO Frank Dulcich.
So Trump just opened up 500,000 square miles of ocean that had been closed off by environmentalists for fishing. This is going to bring back cheaper seafood and fresh seafood from our shores. And this is the kind of thing he's just doing it all the time. It seems small, but it's actually huge. And it also goes to prove that even though we need the Senate to pass a lot of major things, and they're holding Trump up on a lot of what Trump's able to accomplish is overturning stupid regulations and the bureaucratic state. Getting that done, and that stuff Trump can do unilaterally over and over again, which he continues to chip away at. So this is beautiful. This is one of those things that you don't hear about. It's not going to make national news in a major way, but it's actually a really big deal because this is a major industry in our country, and they've had their hands tied for a long time when Trump just untied their hands. So big deal. And while that's going on, we have the new reports are coming in. Remember Trump signing all those deals last year saying trillions are coming into the U.S. Well, foreign investment has now officially surged to $232 billion so far after 4 years of decline. 4 years of decline. That's Biden and then Trump's first year, which was based on Biden's deals. He's signed all these deals and the money is coming back to America. It actually is happening. So for all those who are like, this doesn't mean anything, they're not going to do anything, Trump's not going to pull it off, this is all lies, they're never going to pay anything. No, so far, $250 billion invested in our country from foreign investment just this year. That's massive, massive. And again, all this is going on. This is all going to start impacting the economy. It's all going to impact prices. It's all going to start making wages higher, jobs better. It just takes a little bit of time. And while all that's going on, guys, and it's starting to make the turn because of this, we just got a bombshell poll from Harvard Harris X yesterday, Forbes Harris X, that is terrifying the Democrats. It is Democrats now in the generic poll. This is rigged polls. This is with all the stuff going on. They're only got a 1-point lead. They need a 5-point lead to overcome the redistricting advantage. So this is terrible news for them because it's only going to keep getting better for the Trump administration as we go forward. So look at this. I mean, males plus 10. I mean, all the demographics here. So, but it's guys, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. And it feels like I'm the only one saying this, but I'm going to continue to say it. I still think we have 60 to 70% chance of holding the House in the fall and like a 95% chance of holding the Senate. So I'm not worried, but we'll continue to monitor and see how it goes. But I'm telling you, these investments, these changes he's making, it's going to start waking up the economy really quickly. And more and more people like this guy are going to be waking up before the midterms. It's good to win. It's good to be on the winning side.